Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning from the NATO headquarters in Brussels. It's a great honor and pleasure to welcome you to the annual NATO conference on weapons of mass destruction, arms control, disarmament and non-proliferation. I really regret that I cannot be there in person to participate in what promises to be a very interesting and informative conference. The issues of W&D, arms control, disarmament and non-proliferation have in recent years and even months come more and more to the forefront of the international agenda. And this is due in part to some new positive developments, but unfortunately it is also partly due to many worrying challenges. Non-respect of some fundamental treaties and conventions, the lack of full implementation of international commitments, the resistance to cooperation with international organizations, and the proliferation programs of some states, all these can undermine global norms and can pose a threat to international security. But there is more. Today, we have to worry not only about countries, but also about non-state actors acquiring technology to develop these deadly weapons. We are increasingly interconnected as a product of globalization, and this makes the task of controlling sensitive materials and technologies much more difficult. But of course, this does not mean that we should step back from tackling it. Important new initiatives in this regard are being developed, as you know. I'm sure we are going to discuss them as well during your deliberations in Warsaw. NATO has long recognized the threats posed by the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and their means of delivery. We are actively developing policies and capabilities for prevention, for defense, and in case those fail, for consequence management. At this year's NATO summit in Strasbourg, the heads of state and government endorsed a new comprehensive strategic level policy on all aspects of our efforts against weapons of mass destruction. What is extremely important is that the alliance is willing to work in this field hand in hand with partner nations and other international organizations. And this new document underlines the particular importance of NATO's outreach to and cooperation with the United Nations, the European Union, and other regional organizations and multilateral initiatives that address WMD proliferation. Over the years, NATO has created a large network of partners whose cooperation is becoming increasingly more active, especially when it comes to arms control, disarmament, and non-proliferation. As you are aware, the Euro-Atlantic Partnership Council brings together 50 NATO and partner countries from that region for dialogue and consultation on political and security-related issues. The alliance has also developed important partnerships with the 7 countries of the Mediterranean dialogue, as well as with countries from the Gulf in the Istanbul Cooperation Initiative. But today, we also have with us in this conference many representatives who come from other nations across the globe with which we share the common goal of curbing proliferation risks. So by combining the potential of our partnerships with the support we provide to the initiatives of the United Nations and other international organizations, we believe we can contribute even more credibly and efficiently to the international response to the existing threats. At the Strasbourg Summit, NATO leaders reaffirmed that arms control, disarmament and non-proliferation will continue to make an important contribution to international peace, security and stability. Later in your conference, you will hear about the Alliance's activities during the special panel on NATO's contributions. So I will only emphasize now the close cooperation we have developed with the United Nations Security Council Committee established pursuant to Resolution 1540 by organizing regionally focused events using the potential of our partnerships in support of this resolution's full implementation. Multilateral initiatives and cooperation are areas where NATO has begun to put greater emphasis. Weapons of mass destruction present considerable challenges that neither NATO nor any other organization can tackle on its own, but only in cooperation with all other actors. NATO is only one of these actors, and we believe we are able to provide a substantial contribution to this process. So I'm glad that you are all here today as we aim at an open and frank dialogue about the issues posed by proliferation, and we want to hear your views and ideas for possible solutions. Your opinions will be even more valuable to us at this particular moment, because as you know, NATO is engaged in the development of its new strategic concept. So the next few months are going to be crucial for the alliance's security policy. The process has been very open and inclusive since the beginning, and events such as this conference are a further proof that a comprehensive approach to security challenges can exert a beneficial influence involving as many international partners as possible. I believe that arms control, disarmament and non-proliferation will be a substantial part of the deliberations of the experts that are now preparing the ideas for our new strategic concept. At this point, I would like to thank the Polish hosts for organizing what I'm certain will be a very successful conference. It is the 5th time, as you know, that we are holding a similar non-proliferation event. The debate has gained momentum, and the interest in these events has increased constantly. And for this reason, this year NATO raised the event's profile and broadened the scope of discussions. And if you look around you today, you will see that there are not only NATO members in the room, but also many participants from partner countries around the globe, other international organizations, academic institutions, think tanks. This is our joint chance to openly discuss issues of great importance and to exchange our ideas in an informal setting. The host country and NATO, we only provide the forum. The substance and the spirit of the conference will be created and carried forward by you, the participants. And I'm happy that so many of you could join us in this important endeavor. In conclusion, I hope that you will enjoy this event, and you will enjoy your stay in Warsaw. I wish you productive discussions and suggest that you take this opportunity to further develop this conference as a forum for our common reflection on pertinent issues of WMD, arms control, disarmament, and non-proliferation. I wish you a very successful meeting. Thank you for your attention.